So Morgana II has died and it's up to Anya to take over. In this video, some drama between vassals actually distracts us. But we start strong by winning the battle that our mother started. Even though the war isn't over, we choose a stewardship lifestyle, and in this case we focus on wealth. Then we arrange a marriage for our daughter and we get our council in order. The plague was becoming a pain in the arse, and since we were doing well enough to offer peace, that's what we did to get that over with. Then my shaman was like bad-mouthing me, so I was mean back, and I was planning on scheming anyway to get him to like me, but I had to assert my dominance. My heir's husband died, and I was kind of sad about it. Don't know why. Wasn't really attached to him anyway. But it meant that I had to find a new husband, which I did. There wasn't really much choice. I mean, nobody that is noble, but, you know, I just needed, you know, someone to knock her up. Now, one of my vassals absolutely hated my guts, Kaisen, and it turns out that I had her daughter, her little daughter, in my prison. And I have absolutely no idea how it happened. But I was like, okay, let me return her for a hook or some money. Maybe that will help things a little bit, smooth things over. Then I had another prisoner, a Christian, and I had the option to execute her. And I was like, should I? Because the whole point of this is, right, to sort of like avenge the past, all the unfairness in the past. And I was like, I can actually, you know, because they're evil to us, I can actually like burn her at the stake like they did to the pagans. And I was like, do I want to return the energy, you know, that they gave us? And I was like, yeah, burn the bitch. Then I got some artifacts for the first time and opened up a whole new world for me. I was like, wow, okay, so extra perks, great, bring it on. Things are never dull. Someone then declared war on me for the Isle of Man. So I got my troops ready, but to be honest, the troops that she was given were not given. They were very small troops. It was quite easy to defend. And in this case, since it wasn't too far, I could even move my troops up to around Galloway without worrying about attrition. So I had one troop stay on the Isle of Man, one troop move forward to lay siege, and again, assert my dominance. After a few more battles, I decided that since we were winning anyway, they would accept peace, and I was running out of money, that I would just offer white peace. And they accepted, of course, so we could move on. Now, this is where the drama with my vassals started, and I think I may have caused it. I'm not sure. I decided to make one of the, I think she's a mayor. I made her a vassal for Duchess Veronica, who, by the way, despises me already. So maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. But I thought that would maybe make her happy, because Veronica was not happy with me. So I thought, okay, maybe if I give her a little pet, you know, she'll feel empowered and she'll leave me the F alone. And in a way, you know, I was right. Now, I saw these little armies walking about fighting, and they were not my enemies. I couldn't click on them, couldn't do anything. I was like, what the fudge cake is going on? Why is this happening on my land? It took me a moment. Again, I'm new. So I was extremely lost. But then I realized that all the power I just given Veronica went straight to her head, and she attacked one of my other vassals for just more power. And to be honest, they're both vassals that I just don't care for. But I was a bit miffed, especially when she actually won Veronica, and I was like, okay, this power is definitely getting out of hand, so I plotted her murder. I just didn't like her attitude, you know? Just didn't like her attitude, so I plotted her murder. It's fine. I'm a queen, I can do that. I love it when a plan comes together. So, with Veronica out of the way, her baby was in charge. And my old lover, my cousin, that I broke up with as soon as I became queen because I was like, no, no. Anyway, I decided to become his ward and teach him, take him under my wing, because I figured I would have a little bit more control, a bit more sway over him that way. Don't know if it's smart or not. This is, again, I'm new, but I felt like that was the way to be the most manipulative. I chose to educate him stewardship because you can never go wrong with that. And then my heart got absolutely broken because my husband died. This gave me a lot of stress and I had to choose basically a trait that would not be good either way. And I chose the melancholic one, which would make me a little bit of a sad Sally, but it was better than the other two. Since we had taken over part of Wales, there was another war and oh my god, look how yummy her husband is. Anyway, I was not scared at all. We just rallied the troops and got going. Then my poor king, got consumption, and then I got it. Then I felt better, and then I died. So now it is up to her daughter, Morgan. It starts off with tragedy because she outlives a child, and the only consolation is that it is not an heir, but it is my only child. So it is a possible problem. Also, if I sound a little bit different, it's because I have a new mic and I'm super excited about it and super happy with it. So just had to share that. All right, moving on. Morgan was already educated in stewardship, so we chose the stewardship lifestyle to make money, money, money. And we were going to need that because honestly, this reign was so complicated because there were so many fights and I really have beef with the Queen of England. Well, not yet, but I will. I got my council in order and then I prepared for war since our mother dearest left us in one. So we strode into battle and had our first fight, which we won. Then my husband kicked the bucket, so it was time to find a new one. He was lone-born, but he had some good traits. He was a cutie patootie, so he would do. Then this fopdoodle of a vassal basically thought that somebody else would make a better ruler and challenged me. Well, challenge accepted, bitch. Okay, I can explain. I was distracted by a noble's pet llama who ate all my battle plans. I mean, what can you do about that? Now, since we were in a battle and I had no heir, I was super excited to learn I was pregnant, but we still had a long way to go. Amidst battle, I gave birth to twin daughters. We won the next fight, but since the enemy occupied some holdings, the war score wasn't the best. So it was time to reclaim those. So we laid siege and immediately bumped up the war score and we captured a valuable prisoner. And while we had another battle, my spy master informed me that one of my vassals, her contract obliged her to more than I have collected. So that meant more money and that made me very happy. We won the next battle because I'm a badass witch and then continued sieging until we could get white peace. Now, because I'm a total noob at this game, I was way too late converting people to paganism, so we only had like one county because it takes like 20 years. But I was working on it, and the goal was to convert every county. Now, the number one rule of pressing buttons is when you don't know what it does, press it. So I didn't know what claim title meant exactly, so I pressed it. And what it basically does is it means that I've got an unpressed claim on a duchy. This means that if I use it in a casus belli, it becomes a pressed claim. And even if I lose the war, my children can actually use it. It will become an unpressed claim again, but then for my children. But if I don't use it this lifetime, it disappears. Anyway, then I decided to declare war on Queen Martha, Queen of Elba. I started sieging, which went well, but I also started a battle that I lost. It wasn't the end of the world because after that I sieged some more, which upped the war score. I did this again to up the war score again and checked if I could enforce the demands, but I could not yet. So onwards we went. And the next battle we fought, we won, bringing our war score to 100% just in time for the bankrupt message. Yeah, suck it, Martha. Then I finally got around to stripping my evil vassal who started a war against me of her titles. because she did not deserve those. Then there was a sexual deviant on the loose in my chambers, which was interesting. And though the final option is hilarious, I chose the first one. And this is where the Queen of England started to become a real pain in the arse. Ironically, I gained the nickname The Weak while I was winning, so I was a little bit pissed off about that, but alright. I did a good job defending, kept my army together, and every time she entered my land, I would go for her. There was one group that snuck past me on the Isle of Man, but we actually won that battle. This also won us the war. Well, this war. Things are gonna get worse. Me holding a Welsh duchy did not go well with the rest of the Welsh people, so there was another war, this time for the Duchy of Gwynedd. But you know how I roll, we won the first battle and another one, and then we could enforce our demands. You know how your girl rolls, we got this. Love making a grown man cry. Then I wanted to expand, so I declared war to get more land. We lost the first fight, but we won the second one, and the third. And then we sieged to gain more war score. And then tragedy struck as my beloved husband died. But we had to go on, so we continued sieging. And bingo, we actually captured the Queen's husband, the king. Now I thought we could use him to enforce our demands, but from what I could see, I could only exchange hostages. So I decided to leave that be for now and just continue. So we continued the war as usual, but then my arch-nemesis, the Queen of England, decided to declare war on me, because she's a bitch. Now, the Queen had a lot of people, and she was sieging Gwynedd, and I was a bit distracted by, you know, the Queen of Alba, and a bit spread thin, and I was running out of money, and I did not enjoy this. Now, I was doing well with my war against Queen of Alba, but I wasn't there yet. I decided to focus on the war that I could win, even if that meant losing the other war, so be it. And by doing that, I won that war, but was still getting my tushy butt kicked by the Queen of England, and lost that one. So you can see how the Queen of England is now my arch-nemesis, and I hate her. But I was going to get revenge. First things first, I needed a new husband. And I chose this guy, thinking that would be alright. But I was wrong, because 2 seconds later, I found out he's impregnated somebody else. No Valentine's card for you this year, mister. Anyway, I wanted his actions to have consequences, so I tried to imprison him. But he avoided capture and nothing really happened except that I pissed him off. Instead of buying myself jewelry, I decided to distract myself by starting a war and trying to get more land. So I was enjoying my war, winning it, and you know what that means? The Queen of England declares war on me. Then my husband went to my daughter to sort of convince her to give us financial aid, but I'm a proud, badass pagan witch, so I said, why don't you use it to build a temple? Now, since the war was costing me a lot of money and I was losing it, I surrendered and then waited until I had a little bit of money to spare and eased my pain with a feast. The most noteworthy thing that happened was my husband starting a fight, and overall it was a success. So one of my vassals who had started a faction and tried to overthrow me, I think that was actually with my mother and not me. She was still my vassal and I couldn't imprison her because I had already imprisoned her and then released her for money, for ransom. But I didn't like her being my vassal, so I decided to plot her murder, as one does. But fate was on my side and she already died all on her own. So this is what our realm looks like right now. And we've been through a lot, but I was still looking for the next move when I died. Now, to find out what happens next on our journey to dismantle the papacy, to crush Christianity and the patriarchy, subscribe and check out the next video.